What is going on, everybody out there at the YouTube trucking community? Sean Cahalan, Christian Brother Trucker, coming at you again with another video tonight. And yeah, I have an announcement that I'm going to make to all of my viewers out there. As I really appreciate all of you viewers, and I really appreciate the feedback, and I really appreciate all of you guys that support me by being subscribed to my channel and giving me feedback in the comment section. There's a couple of things that I want to say, and there's a couple of things that y'all need to be aware of when it comes to me as an individual, me as a Christian, and just me in general, okay? So, you know, I've had all kinds of different comments in the comment sections on several of my videos. It's bound to happen. You put a video out there and you're going to get feedback, you're going to get opinions, and you're going to get opposing viewpoints on things. I expect that. There is a couple of fundamental truths that people need to realize. And I'm going to touch on one comment that just came across, and I probably shouldn't even make these reaction videos to these comments. But, you know, it's a public forum. If you're going to comment, I don't hide anything, and I don't believe in not speaking freely, because I have the freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom of expression, and I'm free to put my opinions out on YouTube and share what I think, and it's completely okay. I can talk about whatever I want to talk about openly and freely, and I'm also free to have my opinions based on those experiences that I've had with different companies. And there is no law that says that I can't speak badly about a company or to give an opinion about a company that I don't agree with. I believe in the fundamental rights that we have to expression and free speech, and to have our opinions and to talk about those opinions openly and freely. There's a lot of people that think that if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to talk bad about a company, about other people, about whatever the case may be. If I say something about a company that I don't agree with, or I call somebody out openly and publicly on a video, it's all based on the freedom of speech. It's all based on the freedom of expression. So keep this in mind. If somebody responds to one of my videos, they are using their freedom of speech to come at me with an opposing view. Okay, great, I understand your opposing view. It doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with it, and if I don't agree with it, then I'm going to respond to it, but I might do so in a public manner by making a reaction video, because I'm free to respond in a public way and to reiterate my points by making another video talking about a particular person. It's a public forum. First of all, y'all need to understand that a public forum means that all of your comments are public. They're open to the public. Everybody can see the comments that are going back and forth in these comment sections. Second of all, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't expect to convert you. I don't expect to change your mind. I don't expect any of that. But if you come at me and say that I'm a fool, or that I'm wrong, or whatever the case may be, you're the fool and you're wrong, because you're not going to change my mind either. I'm free to have my opinions, and I'm free to disagree with whatever I want to disagree with. It's not up to you to get me to agree with something that I have the freedom to disagree with. That's just a basic fundamental human right. Now, there's a lot of people out there that think that being a Christian means that you need to shut your mouth and not talk. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true at all. If any of you have read the Bible and have read the Gospels and read what Jesus said to some of the disciples and to the Pharisees and to everybody on this earth while he was here, he was crucified because of what came out of his mouth. So don't think for 1 second that being a Christian means that you are to shut up and not say anything, because y'all are wrong. Okay? Jesus Christ emboldens us to stand up for the truth. Jesus Christ emboldens us to be tactful, respectful, and to also be bold and to proclaim our opinions, but to do it lovingly. Now, I'm not out here publicly attacking people. I'm not calling people names. I'm not sitting here saying, that so-and-so is such and such. I'm not slandering people. I'm just here to prove a point, or to say something, to make a point, to make a video about something that I disagree with, and for that to be okay. I'm allowed to have my opinions, and I'm allowed to have my bias. If it's a biased opinion, then it's a biased opinion. It doesn't matter. But for people to get on somebody else's video in the comment section and to say the words, "That's not very Christian for you to be talking bad about somebody else," brother, please. Please. Do you know how many of the disciples were murdered and put to death because of what came out of their mouth? Being a Christian does not mean that you don't speak. It does not mean that you must remain silent. Tyrants demand silence. And in this country, one of our basic rights that's in the Bill of Rights is free speech. And I, for one, am going to stand behind that, and I'm going to say what I have to say. I'm going to do it as respectfully and tactfully as I can. And know that if I don't agree with you, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I hate you. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that I have opinions that may or may not be shared by other people. I'm okay with that. You should be okay with that too. As far as the disagreement that I had with the other driver that came at me in the comments section, he called me a fool first. Okay? So I make a video talking about my feelings and my opinion about different training programs, and that's all coming from my experiences, and that's all coming from what I think is wrong with the industry. And I'm free to disagree with an industry standard or practice that's put into place that I don't feel is safe. And I am not going to be shy. I'm not going to be silenced. I'm going to say I don't agree that a new driver getting into a truck and running as a team, running a truck down the road 24 hours a day with a brand new trainee is safe, because of the experiences that I've had with dealing with that and experiencing and witnessing firsthand what goes wrong. And the retention rate of the drivers that I would train and they would upgrade into solo trucks with Pascal Truck Lines versus Knight Transportation, there isn't a perfect trucking company out there, okay? First and foremost, I don't think that any trucking company is 100% perfect. But I do think that there are certain companies out there that do an exceptional job at treating their drivers right. So, Knight Swift has issues. Pascal Truck Lines had their issues. Melton Truck Lines had their issues. CR England has their issues. Prime Inc. has their issues. All of these companies have their issues. It's no secret. And if you're a driver that has gone to drive for some of these companies, and you've experienced something firsthand, and you say, I didn't like that, this is messed up, and I have an opinion based on that, and you make a video, hey, make your video, have your opinions, please do. And I'm going to have my opinions too. And I'm going to talk about my opinions. And I'm not going to be silenced by somebody who sits there and goes, oh, you shouldn't talk, you shouldn't speak out, you shouldn't say this or that if it's bad or negative. That's all based on a perspective, okay? Pascal Truck Lines, when I was driving for them, and I was training for them, the retention rate of the drivers once they got off the truck with me was very, very low. Most of the drivers left and quit within the first couple of months that they went solo. Okay? Most of the drivers that I trained for night transportation were retained and stayed on at night transportation. Why? Well, I can only assume that it's because of the training program where, one, we were pushing the miles and trying to drive team, and it was mileage based and push the miles, push the miles, push the miles, push the miles, and it was a very high stress environment. And I know firsthand by experiencing the fatigue that me and the trainees went through that that was not safe. It's not a good idea. And with night transportation, you know, I had trainees on my truck for 4 weeks. We never did any training or any teaming. And so we did solo miles. We did about 3,500 to 4,400 miles on the truck each week. In fact, I don't think that I broke over 4,000 miles with a trainee on my truck with night transportation at all. And it went smoother, a lot smoother. It was a lot safer. My trainees were a lot less fatigued, and the retention rate of those trainees, once they got off the truck with me, they stayed where they were. They didn't just quit as soon as they could because of the experiences that they had working for that company. So, I'm not talking bad. I'm just being honest. And being honest means that I'm going to freely express my opinions, and I'm going to say that I don't agree with something. So, if you're watching my videos, you come across my videos, you watch anything that I make, or anything else like that, yeah, I have my opinions, and I speak freely. Because it's a fundamental human right that we have in this country of free speech and freedom of expression. You know, I'm kind of taken aback a little bit that somebody would say, "Oh, you need to be silent because you're a Christian." Get out of here. Really? Yeah, I don't think so. That's not how life works. That's not how being a Christian works either. I know God is real, and I know Jesus is real, and I know the Holy Spirit is real, and I have tons of faith in what matters. And that's where I get a lot of my boldness, and that's where I get a lot of my freedoms to say what I say and do what I do, and my security is in Christ and in God, not in man. I don't have to please these mega corporations and mega fleets and everything else and sit there and be party and agree with bad business practices that I don't agree with or I think they're unsafe. If I think that something is unsafe and I don't agree with it, I'm going to say I don't think this is a safe business practice, or I don't agree with this and I think that this can be improved. That's my opinion. So if you watch me, if you watch my videos, if you've subscribed to my channel, I'm glad you're here. But just know that if you come at me in the comments section and tell me to be silent, or you're gonna sit there and try to change my mind about something, or call me a fool or an idiot, hey, I'm glad you think I'm a fool and an idiot. That's fine. You know, you're not gonna change my thoughts or opinions. And I'm going to say this too. My safety record speaks for itself. I've been out here for 3.5 years, 3.5 years, and I haven't had one citation. I haven't had one speeding ticket. I haven't had any CSA violations at all. And over 300,000 miles of driving. Because I know what's safe, what's not safe. I know when to get off the road. I know when to make the phone calls that I need to make. so that I'm putting safety first. I'm a safety first believer, and I believe in safety first. And if that bothers some of you people out there, that's fine. You know, we have super truckers all over the place that think, oh no, it's about maximizing your miles and pushing as hard as you can and driving yourself into an early grave. I was like that in the first 3 years of driving truck. And I had a nervous breakdown. Because back in 2008 to 2012, I ran off of paper logs, and I was running 2 to 3 log sheets a day. And I was pushing as hard as I can, as fast as I could. And I was speeding, and I had the speeding tickets, and I had the CSA violations, and I had the traffic violations, all of that to back up my attitude at the time. Because I had the wrong attitude. I was greedy. Everybody was in my way. I was that super trucker driving that big flat-nosed Peterbilt that was governed at 70 miles an hour, and that truck went 70 miles an hour, and I drove at 70 miles an hour everywhere I went. Because I didn't care about safety. I didn't care about everybody else. All I cared about was myself. I'm just trying to spread awareness out here because I'm a changed man, because I've been saved through grace, and I'm a conscientious driver. And I call out things that I don't agree with, that I think are unsafe. Those are just the facts. So if you watch my channel, that's the kind of guy I am. So thank you for your opinions. Thank you for your comments. But just know if you comment on one of my videos, I'm going to comment back, and I might just make a reaction video. That's just how it is. So, and if you notice, I don't call people out by name. I just say, hey, there was a person that commented on this or commented on that. You know, I don't need to get specific, and I don't need to get into these pissing matches or anything else like that. So, you guys can try to understand what it is that I'm saying, or you can try to misunderstand, which is what happens, is people misconstrue what I say and basically think that I'm saying something that I'm not, when specifically what I'm talking about is the poor training out there, the poor trainers out there that are unqualified to be training, and the poor trainees that go through this piss poor training that don't get trained up properly and are out there being unsafe because they're unqualified, because they didn't get taught correctly, and they're out there making mistakes. I was one of them. I went through it personally. I was a trainer that was part of these training programs that was doing everything unsafe. And I've also worked for companies that I believe that do it right. And Night Transportation, as far as the training program is concerned, is a way better training program. So, you know, if you guys stay on topic and keep it rational and understand what it is that I'm saying, and don't misunderstand what I say. You know, I'm not sure if what's going on is somebody watches a couple of minutes of my video, stops the video, and then stops watching it, and then goes, you said this and you said that, and this is what you... No. Actually, if you watch my videos and you actually listen to what I say, I actually bring it around full circle, and I say, you know, exactly what the point is, and then I reiterate those points and tell you that it all comes down to safety and fatigue. There's a lot of things out here that go on that are unsafe, and a lot of the policies and DOT laws and regulations that aren't enforced that should be enforced, you know, and that just don't get enforced, and nobody cares. You know, so why make policies if you're not going to enforce them? You're sending out a bad message that says, oh, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It does matter. Because my wife and my children are on the road driving around all you other drivers out there. So, yeah, it's a safety concern. It really is. And if I train a driver, that's my main focus. I want to train drivers to be safe first. So, if you think that I'm talking bad about companies because they're being unsafe either in their maintenance department or in their training department, then I don't know what to tell you. They're unsafe, period. And I'll tell you right now that Knight Transportation, Knight Swift, their maintenance department sucks. Bad. I was told many, many times to drop a trailer to continue on during a trip with something that was wrong with the trailer. You know? And if you've got a management team that's continually doing that, telling you to ignore it, telling you to look the other way, telling you to do this and do that, I'll tell you right now that that's not safe. And telling somebody to get into a truck and drive it down the road with all these check engine lights on is not safe. So let's keep it relative to what I'm saying. Training trainees and treating them as a team truck operation is not safe. Telling a driver to drive a truck that's in D-rate mode at 25% torque D-rate when you know that that truck is going to break down, that is unsafe. When a majority of your fleet of trailers is sitting in yards, tagged out and not being fixed and not being utilized, which equates to low driver pay, that is unsafe, because what you're doing is you're starving out your drivers who are trying to make money. And the only way for them to make money, you put them in this impossible position where it's either I go broke or I keep rolling with these trailers that need to be fixed and should be fixed, and they're not being fixed. So don't blame me for speaking up about the truth. And the truth is that these trucking companies have their priorities out of alignment. So it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, I don't work for them anymore, and that's the reason. And thank God that I work for a company now that fixes stuff and doesn't mess around like that, because I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff anymore. So it is what it is. I've had this truck in and out of the shop 4 or 5 times now because I'm getting stuff fixed that needs to be fixed. And I get paid breakdown pay every time I take the truck into the shop, and I don't get any problems from any management or anything else like that. If I tell them something's wrong with the truck, they'd say take it to the yard, get it fixed. We'll pay you breakdown pay. Let us know when you get there. Let us know how long you're broke down, and we'll pay you for taking the truck up there. I get paid for the miles to go up there, and it is what it is. You have to have good sound equipment that you're driving down the road, and your training program has to be a training program that is focused on training and not on teaming. So that's just the way I feel. And like I said, this is all coming from somebody who's been out here for 8 years, and I know I don't have the common viewpoint that a lot of drivers do, that just don't care about safety, that don't truly put safety first. And I'm one of those drivers that I put safety first. And I'm sorry if that costs the company more money. It doesn't matter. I'm not the one that came up with the rules. I'm not the one that came up with the DOT laws and regulations that says that you're not supposed to drive a truck down the road with faulty equipment. I'm not the one that came up with the rules that says a driver shouldn't drive fatigued. Those are the facts. I don't drive when I'm fatigued. I know when to pull over. I know when to get off the road. I know when to get something fixed. And I know when I can get by with something and when I can't. And if I can't get by with something, that truck doesn't keep rolling down the road. It goes to the nearest shop and gets fixed, because I don't mess around like that. So that's just me. That's my viewpoint. I put safety first. I take safety very seriously out here, because I want to get home, and I don't want to get into a wreck with another car out here. I don't want to be the cause of a wreck because I have a blowout that ends up shredding off and goes underneath a car that causes an accident. I don't want somebody to run into the side of my trailer because I have a light that's not working. I don't want to drive off into the ditch and end up rolling my truck and losing a load because I fall asleep because I'm pushing too hard and I'm driving fatigued. And I don't want to die by being in the sleeper and have my trainee make a mistake and end up rolling the truck and killing us both. And we all know that we've all seen these accidents out there that happen. It does happen. So I'm very, very, very passionate about safety, and I do take it very seriously. That's me, and that's who I am. And I'm not ashamed of that. And no, I'm not going to be silent. And no, I don't have to shut up because I'm Christian. And by somebody saying that, oh, you're talking bad about other people. No, I'm not. I'm being truthful about something that's unsafe. So crucify me. Anyway, rant over. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe and share. And as always, thanks for watching, and God bless you all.